right now on 18 Eyewitness News.
More than a dozen U.S. embassies across the Middle East remain in lockdown. Also, one man is helping ex-cons get a new start in life. Plus, House Republicans have blocked Obamacare once again. And I'm tracking more thunderstorms for your Tuesday. 18 Eyewitness News starts right now.
18 Eyewitness News starts now.
U.S. embassies in 19 cities across the Middle East and North Africa remain in lockdown on Monday and may remain so through the end of the week. Thank you for joining us on 18 Eyewitness News. I'm Dustin Kopp. Our top story at this hour, the State Department closed them after intercepting intelligence showed that high level of al-Qaeda terrorists are planning a major attack. Efren Graham has more details.
U.S. officials called the intercepted threats against Americans serious and credible. Nearly 24 embassies and consulates across the Middle East and North Africa are closed. And the State Department says they could stay that way through the end of the week.
We've received information that high-level people from al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula are talking about a major attack, and these are people in a high level.
This threat was so specific as to how enormous it was going to be, and also there were certain dates were given, but it didn't specify where it's going to be.
Officials say the plot is considered, quote, very active, and al-Qaeda could change its tactics now that the U.S. is aware of key details of the planned attacks. It's being led by Nazar al-Wuhashi, Osama bin Laden's former personal secretary. He's based in the Arabian Peninsula, home to the most deadly of all the al-Qaeda affiliates. One surprise, according to authorities, al-Qaeda operatives talked about the plot, possibly knowing it would be intercepted.
This is a wake-up call. Al-Qaeda is in many ways stronger than it was before 9/11 because it's mutated and it's spread and it can come at us from different directions.
Intelligence officials say they don't know the exact nature of the threat, but they say al-Qaeda has been working for years on bombs that can't be detected, like liquid explosives or bombs they implant in their own bodies.
Their expertise is chemical explosives hitting the aviation sector, as we saw with the underwear bomber. So we are on a high state of alert.
The U.S. has also issued a travel alert to Americans abroad, warning them to stay away from public transportation and tourist hotspots.
The East Missouri Action Agency is continuing to offer free lunches through the end of this week for children. Public Relations and Communications Specialist Shanna Ashton explains what the purpose is behind the program.
It's an offshoot of the school lunch program is what it is, and it's meals for kids when they aren't in school. And we do them in different community areas. We do them in parks. We partner with different civic organizations that are having summer programs for kids, and we prepare the meals and serve them out to the kids.
Shanna tells us that they purchase the food for the program. She also says that they follow school guidelines.
We follow the school guidelines as far as, credibility of meals with your food pyramid of milk, your bread, your meat, your vegetable, and your fruit.
For more information, you can contact Shanna at 573-431-5191 or visit our website, KDKZ18.com. The U.S. State Department is now recognizing gay marriages on visa applications. On Friday, Secretary of State John Kerry announced the state will begin processing visa applications for same-sex couples in the same way it does for heterosexual couples. Kerry said gay marriage is valid under U.S. immigration law so long as the couple is wed in the jurisdiction that recognizes same-sex unions. This summer, the Supreme Court struck down portions of the federal law defining marriage as between one man and one woman. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Corbett is suing County Registrar Bruce Haynes to make him stop violating the Pennsylvania state law that defines marriage as between a man and a woman. Corbett initiated the suit to put a halt to illegal same-sex marriages taking place in the county of Montgomery. Last week, Haynes defined a state ban on gay marriage and started issuing licenses to homosexual couples. He issued at least 34 such licenses so far. Haynes started issuing gay marriage licenses after State Attorney General Kathleen Kane said she will no longer defend the law. A 73-year-old missing hiker from Missouri has been found dead in Canyonlands National Park in Utah. Wayne County Sheriff's deputies say the man had been hiking alone and his body was found in Horseshoe Canyon on Saturday. The man was supposed to have been out of the canyon by July 28th and was reported missing on Friday. Investigators say they're unsure how long the man had been dead and that his cause of death will be determined by the Utah State Medical Examiner's Office. His name and hometown were withheld pending notification of family members. Temperatures across the area are definitely on the warm side this afternoon, but we're seeing those temperatures cool off just a little bit. 78 degrees at St. Genevieve, 77 at Fredericktown, Piedmont right now at 78, as well as in Ellington. Looking ahead throughout the next several hours, cloudy skies, 75 degrees at 7 p.m., 9 p.m. temperature is 73. There is a chance of some showers and thunderstorms by midnight, a temperature of 72. More details on your forecast coming up in just a little bit. When we come back, one man is helping ex-cons get a new start in life. That story coming up only on 18 Eyewitness News.
When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Fred Dawkins and Dustin Kopp. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
Welcome back. Every year, more than 700,000 people are released from state and federal prisons. Life can be pretty tough for many of them because employers are reluctant to hire ex-cons. Charlene Israel shows us one man who is helping them get a new start in life.
Sean Collins Harris once dreamed of traveling the world as a motivational speaker. In college, that all changed when he got caught up with the wrong crowd and started selling drugs.
I wanted to make money. At the same time, I wanted to make quick money.
That desire eventually landed him behind bars.
I was sentenced to 5 years in the state penitentiary for possession with intent to distribute more than 5 pounds of marijuana while in possession of a firearm.
After serving his time, he ran into a familiar problem, his record.
You got to put food on the table. You got to provide for a household. How are you going to handle these responsibilities when people are afraid of you because you're a convicted felon? They've been told not to hire convicted felons.
Dr. Tokes Edo sees it all too often. After taking part in his church's prison ministry, Dr. Edo noticed a trend among prisoners re-entering society.
As it got close to the time of the men's release, a lot of them became apprehensive. I found out that a lot of them didn't want to go back to the same old neighborhoods. They didn't want to go back to the same guys they hung out with.
When you get so many doors closed in your face, what is there left to do? Like, what can you do? I had a child, I have a wife, so it was either one or two things. Go back to what it is that I knew how to do, because trust me, that same old gang was there.
For that reason, Dr. Edo created Leadership Call, an organization helping remove barriers for ex-offenders across Virginia.
Unfortunately, most of these men have been given a bad rap. They've already paid their dues by going to prison. They don't have to keep on paying when they get out.
Leadership Call helps participants tear down negative mindsets while discovering their strengths and abilities.
All we're trying to do is find out what it is that God has deposited in each individual and help them tap into that to become self-governed.
One method is by helping ex-offenders start their own businesses. Dr. Edo uses his experience as a consultant and defense contractor to get the ball rolling.
I'm a free market capitalist. I'm a firm believer in business. I mean, it's huge. Gosh, if there's one thing that works well, it's a free market. So I've seen that work tremendously well with the men. We have about an 85% rate of success.
Sean became a Christian while in prison, then went on to be one of the program's success stories.
I borrowed a lawnmower from my grandfather. Went and borrowed a pressure washer from my wife's aunt. Now I own 3 pressure washers. Now I own 7 lawnmowers, trailers, and equipment, and run my own lawn care business. I have subcontractors under me that do roofing and all type of handyman services.
29-year-old gang member Mike Taylor faced an 8-year prison sentence for robbery. Before giving his life to Christ, Taylor felt he had a death wish after seeing so many friends killed in the streets.
I was ready for whatever, if I would have got shot and died right then I wouldn't have cared. And if I woke up tomorrow, I wouldn't have cared.
Now he cares about the plans for his new T-shirt business and nonprofit organization, thanks to the program's biblical principles and discipleship. That will help him to do good in the communities where he once did so much bad.
I'm not worried about the money. I'm just worried about, making a difference when I leave here. I just want to leave a great legacy that's going to last future generations.
Dr. Ito says when inmates complete their 12-month participation in Leadership Call, the outcome is renewed hope and transformed lives.
It's sad we recycle everything. The only thing we don't recycle is human capital. Think about it. Created in God's image, but we dump it, we trash it, and just, let it go. So in a way, I'm in the recycling business, but it's awesome to see when they get it and they run with a vision.
I'm just giving God the glory for everything that he's doing and just standing in awe and can't wait to see what he's going to do next.
Charlene says that this program has been so successful that it'll be going nationwide. A major solar flare nearly hitting Earth last month, and it could have generated a massive electromagnetic pulse. The pulse would have been so large it could have knocked out power across the United States, not only in homes but also to cars and mobile devices like smartphones. Some government officials are trying to get Washington to strengthen U.S. power grid to prepare for a solar flare. Not much progress has been made. A Haiti man has died from his injuries after an ATV crash in Carter County. A still man died Friday night. Carter County Coroner Eric Mispadden says that 35-year-old Nathan Banks of Haiti died Saturday from his injuries in a Springfield hospital. 35-year-old Kelly McCullough Still was pronounced dead at the scene by the Carter County coroner. The crash happened around 9:30 p.m. on County Road 127, 2 miles west of Van Buren. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the ATV was westbound, ran off the right side of the road, and overturned. Banks was taken by helicopter to a Springfield hospital. Up next on 18 Eyewitness News, House Republicans have blocked Obamacare again. 18 Eyewitness News will be right back.
We all need to take responsibility in our lives and start thinking about how do we want to be treated at the end of our lives. I would definitely say Serenity Hospice Care is an expert in their field. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's help a phone call away. If it were me and I was diagnosed with a terminal illness, absolutely, I would choose Serenity Hospice Care.
As I get ready to go into surgery, I remind myself what it's about. It's about God. It's about caring. It's about trust. It's about respect. It's about back pain. It's about neck pain. It's about questions. It's about answers. It's about people, not just patients. It's about you. It's about us. It is Heartland Spine. Changing lives, saving lives. That's what we do.
House Republicans voted for the 40th time to block Obamacare from taking effect Friday. It is seen as a symbolic step since the measure will be ignored in the Senate. It has been 3 years since Obamacare became law of the land. Many problems were made about the law could change America's health care system for the better. But as Jennifer Washon reports, critics say Obamacare isn't living up to its promises.
It's supposed to create jobs, provide health insurance for all Americans who want it, and save money. Instead, the Affordable Care Act for many Americans has already become a source of heartburn.
This is legislation that was 2,500 pages long, now 20,000 pages of legislation.
That's 17,500 pages of new regulations written by bureaucrats, on top of an already complex law passed by Congress. After catching heat for several weeks, President Obama is working to promote the positives of the law he maintains will help those in need.
Affordable health care is not some privilege just for the few. It's a basic right that everybody should be able to enjoy.
His efforts came one day after the House voted for the 38th time to eliminate, cut funding, or scale back the law. Already the mandate that businesses provide coverage for their workers has been put on hold because new regulations made it too difficult for companies to comply.
For example, there is the employer mandate, the requirement that businesses with 50 or more full-time equivalent employees provide health insurance or pay penalties. That was a 3.5-page provision that got turned into a 144-page regulation with 44 definitions.
One study predicts Obamacare will put more than 3 million jobs in jeopardy. Even union bosses who once supported the law are now calling on Congress to fix it. In a letter to Democrat leaders, they write, "The Affordable Care Act would shatter not only our hard-earned health benefits, but destroy the foundation of the 40-hour work week that is the backbone of the American middle class. We have a problem," they write. "You need to fix it."
This is going to be a big lose-lose-lose for a lot of union members, and I think that if there isn't a resolution in Congress, if they don't reopen the law, a lot of them are going to question why they're paying all these dues to leadership that doesn't really represent their interests.
President Obama maintains that Americans who like their insurance plan can keep it, but that's not turning out to be the case. According to a study of 11,000 plans on the individual market, less than 2% comply with Obamacare. That means 98% of plans must change, or the people using them must find new plans.
We're spending a lot of money in helping relatively few people. In many ways, it probably would have been simpler and cheaper just to give everybody money to buy insurance.
It's true more Americans will have health insurance under Obamacare, but that will lead to greater demands on the healthcare system.
The government's own chief actuary says that about 15% of hospitals will close as a result of this because they're no longer viable.
Still, even after all 20,000 pages of regulations are implemented, not all Americans will be insured. CBO estimates by the year 2023, 30 million Americans still won't have insurance. And by that time, America will have spent nearly $2 trillion implementing the law.
We're spending a lot of money in helping relatively few people. In many ways, it probably would have been simpler and cheaper just to give everybody money to buy insurance.
Obamacare gives extraordinary discretion to the Secretary of Health. In fact, some 1,000 times, the law gives her power to create definitions and regulations. And that's why the number of pages in the law keeps on growing. The law is so complex, even some Democrats worry it will be tough to implement. Some also fear it will become a political liability for them in next year's elections. Jennifer Wishon, CBN News, Washington.
Police are investigating the motive behind a deadly hit-and-run car attack on a crowded boardwalk in California. Authorities say 38-year-old Nathan Bell Campbell of Los Angeles turned himself in after fleeing the scene of an incident on the Venice Beach boardwalk. Surveillance video shows a man parked a black car alongside the boardwalk, watched for several minutes, and then plowing into a sea of people. The driver accelerated at his large black car through the crowd, hitting one person after another as people desperately tried to get out of the way. Witnesses say the car was traveling about 35 to 40 miles per hour along the boardwalk. A woman in the United States on her honeymoon was killed and 11 others were injured, some critically, in the incident. Her husband, who was slightly injured, was at her side when she died. Campbell is being held on a $1 million bail. When we come back, I'll have your latest storm tracker weather forecast. It's going to be a rainy one. We'll be right back.
More than 70% of the U.S. experience back or neck pain within our lifetime. For many, it goes away within 4 to 6 weeks, but some require more than just time. If you need help treating your back or neck pain, contact Dr. Frank Hayward at Heartland Spine Institute. Dr. Hayward is the area's expert in minimally invasive and laser spine surgery. Tiny incision, big results. Changing lives, saving lives. That's what we do.
Here is your Storm Tracker forecast.
And welcome back. After seeing some rainfall and some heavy rainfall, that's at times, we're seeing cloudy skies at this hour at 6 p.m. 76 degrees is our current temperature. It feels like 76 out there. Current dew point 69 with 78% humidity and a south wind at 7 miles per hour. Throughout southeast Missouri, we're seeing those temperatures not too bad out there at all. 78 right now in St. Genevieve, Fredericktown 77, as well as at Ironton, Potosi rather, and Ellington right now at 78 degrees. Your temperatures across the state of Missouri, not too bad out there. Well, But we're seeing those temperatures a little bit warmer in some areas, like 83 in Columbia, down in Springfield, 86 and 87 right now in Kansas City. And that's because they haven't seen the rainfall that we saw earlier today. Scattered thunderstorms still sticking around. Looks like those warmer temps are going to start warming up just a little bit, and we'll see some sunshine possible for this weekend. Here's what our forecast entails. We're going to see a low pressure system over a couple of them actually over the Midwest, giving us a chance of showers and thunderstorms throughout southeast Missouri. Some could be heavy at times, so don't be surprised by that. Here's what our forecast is looking like for this evening. Thunderstorms likely 67 to 70 for your overnight low, south wind 5 to 10. Then for tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms 85 to 87. Looking ahead, the big 7-day forecast. Continuing to see those showers and thunderstorms on your Wednesday, 90 degrees, 82 and scattered thunderstorms on Thursday. Friday, 85 with more thunderstorms. Then it looks like 86 both Saturday and Sunday with partly sunny skies, and then 80 on Monday with scattered thunderstorms. That temperature cannot figure out what it wants to do. You can get the latest weather information at our website, KDKZ18.com. The preteen years can be crazy. Some common sense tips on getting through on today's Focus on the Family with Dr. Bill Meyer.
I'm Stacy Johnson. Got an insurance policy that you no longer can afford or don't need? Don't let it lapse. I'll explain why just ahead on Money Talks News.
Get your latest Storm Tracker weather forecast daily on the radio. Froggy 96, 95.9 FM, and Kickin' Country 105, 104.9 FM.
We all need to take responsibility in our lives and start thinking about how do we want to be treated at the end of our lives. I would definitely say Serenity Hospice Care is an expert in their field. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, there's help a phone call away. If it were me and I was diagnosed with a terminal illness, I would choose Serenity Hospice Care.
When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
You may have heard the advice, make sure that hill is worth dying on when it comes to battles with your teenager. Dr. Bill Meyer explains why not sweating the small stuff when they're younger will help the teen years go a lot smoother.
When she started school, she decided the other girls were shaving their legs, so she came home and used her older sister's razor without asking. And she got up one morning and put on mascara too and went to school that way.
Rachel, like many preteens, has started to test the waters as she approaches the stormy seas of adolescence. And her parents know that if they aren't careful, they may unintentionally make that journey a lot tougher on everyone.
If you make too big of a deal, what happens is they can become a different person outside your doors than they are at home. That's a dangerous place to be in your family because you don't really know who they are.
The most important thing is to build that relationship. Because some parents set these rules that I'm not even sure where they got them from. You know, whether it's in a book or they determined, well, she won't do this until 13, won't do that until 14 or 15. But they leave out the relationship.
That relationship can come to a fork in the road when kids start exerting their independence. How you handle early issues like makeup and hygiene literally sets the stage for handling the tougher issues that come later, like sex and drugs.
And if you've not built that relationship where there's safety, where there's love, where the child wants to come to you, then when that time comes, you are pushed to the outside.
Not sweating the small stuff, not making a big deal over what are essentially non-issues, will strengthen your child's trust in you, building a bridge that you'll both need when the really big issues come along.
Obviously, you want to provide some boundaries to the experimentation, but yet they need the freedom to try some things and figure out for themselves that maybe some things aren't a good idea.
For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
Dr. Bill Meyer reminds us that it's perfectly normal for your preteen to try out older kid activities. He suggests staying calm and have a sense of humor. but make sure that those non-negotiable boundaries on the tougher issues are well communicated. For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, visit our website, KDKZ18.com, and click on the Focus on the Family link. If you've got a life insurance policy, you may have a hidden investment. Money expert Stacy Johnson has the details in selling life insurance.
You know, if you couldn't afford your home any longer, you wouldn't just walk away from your home. You know, you'd get a realtor, get it appraised, and see what somebody would pay you for the home. And we do the exact same thing for life insurance policies.
Alex Jones is a life settlement broker. When people no longer want or can't afford to keep their life insurance, he finds a buyer.
Most people don't realize that their life insurance policies could be sold. You know, and instead of letting them lapse or do just non-payment or canceling them, the consumer has a right to get an appraisal.
Now, done properly, arrangements like this can be great for both the buyer and the seller of a policy. The seller doesn't have to wait to die to get money out of their life insurance, and the buyer can get a decent return on their investment. Tips for potential sellers? First, understand the policy rules, alternative to selling, and your state rules. Next, don't take the first offer, take the best offer. Also, consult an accountant. Life settlements could be subject to income and capital gains taxes. Next, keep in mind creditors may have a claim to your windfall, and your eligibility for government benefits, such as Medicaid, could change. Now, be aware that not every policy can be sold. Alex says only about 25% of the policies that walk into his office are actually worth anything. If you can get a buyer for your policy, what you'll get depends on lots of factors. A 2010 GAO report suggested sellers got about 13 to 21% of the face value of their policy. Bottom line, if you've got a policy that you can no longer afford or don't need, it's worth a call to find out if it's worth something. But now what you need is more information. Go to MoneyTalksNews.com and just do a search for life settlement. For Money Talks News, I'm Stacy Johnson.
As Stacy said, he's got more information and links at his website. To get there, just go to our website, KDKZ18.com, and click on the Money Talks link under the Lifestyles menu.
When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archer Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archer Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
Thanks so much for joining us on 18 Eyewitness News. From all of us here at the Dawkins Broadcast Group and 18 Eyewitness News, hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here next time.
When you see news happening in your area, let us know about it. You can call our news department at 573-701-9590 or email us at news@DawkinsBroadcastGroup.com.